Hi, welcome to the Bonita Springs Area Chamber of Commerce podcast. I'm Tiffany Esposito, President and CEO, and I'm here today with Shelley Anderson, running for City Council. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here. So to kick us off, can you just introduce yourself and tell us how long you've lived in Bonita Springs and what your involvement in the community has been?
Sure. So I'm Shelley Anderson. I'm running for District 2, which is primarily Old Bonita, which is the downtown area. I've lived in Bonita for 41 years, and I've lived for the past 30 years in the same house on the river on Goodwin Street in Old Bonita. So I've been here a long time. My 3 children were born and raised here, went to local schools. I was in the finance sector, you could say, for 39 years, and I retired 2 years ago. I've been involved in the community in so many ways over the past however many years, a long time. I've served on a lot of different boards, almost every nonprofit in the city, from the Literacy Council, which was the first one, to the Center for the Arts, hospice, the YMCA, the Bonita Assistance Office. The Y and the Assistance Office are my 2 current board positions. But in addition to that, I volunteered my time. I was on the board of the Friends of the Salvation Army, but I also do the Red Kettle. I've helped build houses for Habitat for Humanity. It kind of goes on and on. So I've been very involved in the community. And now that I'm retired, I just thought it was an opportunity to deepen that involvement, I guess you would say, with the City Council. So.
Well, thank you for your service all these years.
My pleasure.
Why are you running for City Council?
I'm running for City Council. I guess the top 2 things I would say are my financial background, as well as my what I call historical perspective on Bonita, will be of worth to the city, to my district, and to the people of Bonita. So I'm passionate about Bonita. It's my hometown. I love it, and it's just another way to serve.
Awesome. Talk to us about your thoughts on downtown redevelopment.
Well, that kind of pushed me over the edge to run for City Council because of the Old 41 redevelopment. Because I live right off of Old 41, and my kids grew up there, and they walked to middle school and the rec center and the library, and that's what I love about living in Bonita when they were growing up, because it was just like such a cool small town, but we didn't have much besides that. So, some people, I guess, don't want it to grow, but on the other hand, if you raise kids here, I was in the car all the time taking them to the movies in Fort Myers and Naples. There was no shopping here. There was really nothing to do. There wasn't even a skate park back then. So in order to improve the community, to have things for everyone, to offer something for everyone, we have to develop somehow. We just have to be smart about it. So my property is right next to the Bamboo property. So I've had my eye on that for a long time, what's going to happen there. And so I love what's happening. Shangri-La is a great anchor on the south. The Wonder Gardens have just blossomed since the hurricane, which is so great to see. There's a new coffee and wine shop that is doing a boom in business. The apartments on Dean Street, although it's a little shocking to me still to drive down Dean Street and see that. All these people have to live somewhere, and that will enliven the downtown area.
Absolutely.
So,
and it'll continue to support the businesses not only
yeah,
in downtown,
absolutely,
but in Bonita in general.
And in addition, I forgot about this part. After I retired, I bought a business. So I'm a small business owner with my daughter. And it's given me a whole new perspective on shopping local, supporting your own community. I shouldn't say we're all, I have been addicted to Amazon, and I'm trying to, get unaddicted, because it really does give you a whole new appreciation of what it takes to run a business and what it takes to build relationships with local people. And so it's been a real adventure and learning experience.
Well, we're happy you picked Bonita to continue to grow your business. So with downtown Bonita, what would you like to see developed there, specifically on the bamboo property?
Well, I guess I'd say, right before, whenever it was, 2007, when the city did what they're doing now, they asked for, they did requests for proposals. They had picked a developer to develop it, and it was a mixed-use development. Of course, after the recession, they backed out, as they should have, and that didn't happen. But at the time, there were a lot of city meetings for people to go and voice their opinion about what it should be. There were a lot of those, and I went to all of them, and we went through all different iterations of the design and what was going to be there. And I think at the end of the day, and I think hopefully that'll happen now, it's going to be, to me, the best case scenario is to have a mix of residential, retail, and a lot of green space. It's right on the river. It straddles the river. And I mean, it's just a perfect location to have restaurants outside, to have kayak rentals, to have water sports, whatever. So that's what I envision.
Awesome. One of the things that has been a topic of conversation lately is the food truck ordinance. Do you have an opinion on the food truck ordinance?
I guess I do, I guess. My opinion, and I went to the last city council where this was discussed, the last city council meeting. I think when the ordinance was first initiated in Bonita, and I'm not sure how many years ago that was, I think that food trucks in Bonita weren't really an issue. So we didn't have time, or we didn't have the opportunity to test the ordinance and see if it would work for us, because nobody was coming and saying, we want to have food trucks. But now, and I could be wrong about this, but my understanding, it was kind of instigated by Momentum Brew House, wants to have more than the ordinance allowed at one time on their property. So I guess what I think is that we need to look at the ordinance and make sure that it works now. I don't think we've really tested it, whether it works or not, because there just hasn't been a reason to. So I hope that we're reasonable about it. I mean, food trucks are a thing, and I think they're going to continue to be. And I think that we have to figure out how to work it out so that, it's impossible to keep everybody happy, but I do think that there can be some changes made. So that's about all I can say about that.
Okay, great. So the existing city council, they all have liaison positions. So for instance, Fred Forbes is the liaison for the South Lee EDC. What role do you think that you will play in the existing council, and what organizations would you want to take a role in on behalf of the council?
I guess the only thing I really put a lot of thought to, or any thought to, is the different boards within the city of Bonita Springs. And so the ones that interest me the most are the Metropolitan Planning Board. A big issue for me in running is the safety of the streets in Bonita for walking and biking. And there's a committee for that, and also art and public places are three that really interest me. I was an advocate for the Bonita Springs High School, and so I would be interested in being a liaison with the schools, that one or other ones. All my kids went to school here, so that's my plan.
Okay. What role would you play in helping to improve regional economic development?
Again, I think that, I guess overall, I feel like economic development is so related to educating. I think that we need to educate our kids here, try to get them to stay here. That means affordable housing, whether it's in Bonita or nearby. As we grow and develop and have other opportunities and businesses or retail, whatever it is, we want those kids to have something to do, something meaningful. We don't want to lose all that brain power outside of Bonita. So I guess as a region, we all need to be doing that and working together to do that. So Estero and Bonita, Naples, South Fort Myers, whatever the region is, we need to work together on those common goals.
Fantastic. What do you think one of the next steps we should take in order to improve our transportation problems within the city limits?
That is a tough question. And I'm not sure I know the answer. It's a struggle because you can only add so many lanes to the highways that we have. I know that the Bonita Beach 41 quadrant, I guess is what it's called, they're working on that plan to route traffic around that intersection. I'm not convinced yet that that will alleviate all the traffic that we have. You know, I know that some people think that there should be a flyover there. I haven't formed an opinion, yay or nay, on either one of those. I think I would have to learn more about it and more of the statistics about the traffic. But it's going to have to be something fairly drastic. You know, opening Logan will help, but it won't help people that are right in Bonita. It'll help those people that live out east to have another road. I think opening up Three Oaks Parkway or Imperial Parkway or whatever you want to call it, Livingston Road, to the north will help too. So I think that's something that we really have to work together on.
Okay. What are 3 key issues you'll focus on if you're elected to the City Council?
My 3 major issues are fiscal responsibility, redevelopment of the old 41 corridor, focusing my attention on Old Bonita as far as making it more walkable and bikeable, not just for pleasure, but there are so many people in Bonita that have to bike and walk to school. And I live on you would think it's a racetrack. So I just want to give more attention to the neighborhoods back off of Old 41 to make them more accessible and safer for people. Is that 3? Mm-hmm. Yep. I have to have 4 because water quality is a huge one for me. I live on the river. I've been flooded twice. So I think not just water quality, but the flow of the water. There are a lot of issues around water in this part of Florida. And so I'm very interested in what we're going to continue to do about that. I do think that we're doing things good about it now.
Great. And any closing comments?
Thanks for the opportunity to do this and to talk to me about it. I'm very excited about the possibility of being elected. I think that I would be a real asset to the City Council. Like I said, I love Bonita. It's my hometown, and I've always been a person to help wherever I see it's needed, and so I'll continue to do that whether I get elected or not.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be here today, and good luck in the election.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Chamber Chat. Don't forget to tune in next Tuesday for a brand new episode. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Don't forget to subscribe.